Well, ladies and gentlemen, the music might be bright and cheery, but I know you have all experienced what we also experienced this week, and I know it's tough to process. Maybe takes some time, but we here on this show on Tuesdays with Mayor, we don't run from controversy. We address it head on. So we want to just start right ahead. 2 people not on the show this week. 2 contestants missing. And
sick. I don't whatever that means.
Probably
had COVID because they filmed this prior. They filmed this a ways back, right?
Yeah, it's always actually in the summer they film it. I don't know. I'm proper to hear any conspiracy theories. Given that both contestants, Abdul and Rebs, were on the bubble, I think this could be some coaching. Maybe
the network really liked them and was like, we got to keep them in an extra week. Maybe they're big ratings draws. Who knows? All I could say is that there's a black cloud over the white tent this week, and not the kind that just makes it really humid and so all of their cakes melt, but the kind that makes us doubt the legitimacy of the contest.
You were good there until you said cakes melt. I mean, not quite what humidity does,
but like things melt, ice cream melt. They're like, this week you have to make an ice cream cake. It's 110 degrees outside. Good luck.
That was one of the worst episodes of all time because it was just nonsense. Like, it was obviously not going to work. They should have changed. They should have picked a different day.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
There's problems. There's problems all around. And I would have to say, we'll get to the bottom of this. I expect the networks to come clean. But I will say I was saved. I feel like one of my team selections, Dawn, was probably saved by the bell.
I was so ready for that moment. I had a victory dance. I had a glass of champagne. I was already no more Bojo in my life here.
That being said, I mean, Rebs could have also been really bad at bread. I feel like as we will surely begin speaking to as well.
No, she definitely took up bread baking during the pandemic. 100%. She is a sourdough starter somewhere.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have helped this week because, apparently bread doesn't matter anymore. Bread is irrelevant. Because, when I turn into bread week, what I want to see is pastry. That's really what I want to see when I turn into bread week. Not beautiful, pleated, flavored loaves and elaborate decorations. I want to see pastry and bread cake. Bread cake is what I deserve.
Yes,
that's what
everyone loves. Everyone loves a savory cake
full of mayonnaise and like weird bread and cooked chicken.
And
like
it's got to be like way overcooked to be hard enough to hold the structure. Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's really what I want to turn in.
They've cheated us out of bread. It's so frustrating. Like, this is maybe one of the few times in this show where I actually maybe understand what's happening.
Like bread in general?
Yes. So I was robbed of an air of controversy or of competency by the controversy, and I'm still angry. What are we, like 4 days later? I'm still mad. And I don't even have his right to be mad because I, unlike you, did not attempt to make the technical this week, which was some sort of raisin monstrosity. Please explain, I guess, for us. First, what was the technical? Second, why was the technical? Second, third, fourth. Well, you're gone.
I'm trying.
Weird.
I'm getting there. Keep going.
I've lost my train of thought. Now your background's gone.
Because
this is all very confusing.
Do
you mean to tell me that you work in an office, not outside, right behind a giant cake?
This is the technical right here. This was a nightmare. These don't actually look that bad.
They look good.
Thank you. But like,
nice and browned.
Yeah, it's not worth it. This took me 5 hours.
How long did they get? 2 hours?
I don't even know. 2 hours. I had like other various problems in the middle of them. This was a nightmare. You know what the worst part about this is? There's multiple worst parts. One.
What's worst part number one?
They're not bread. Like
No.
it's got some yeast in it and they rise, but it's pastry.
It's
Like
made of a pastry. The word that they said was pastry. That
it's
is not bread.
it's puff pastry.
Which is
And
not bread.
not bread. Even Prue said not bread. Prue was like, Paul, this isn't bread. And Paul was like, enriched dough. Get out of here.
This is just my power grab.
Get out of here. Second thing, they take since it is pastry, and the whole point is to make a flaky pastry. If you make them at home and put them in a container, they immediately deflake because you can't keep flaky pastry flaky in like sealed container because they just re-wet. So you spend 6 hours making these ridiculous things, and the next day they're not even flaky anymore because that's how it works. Because only normal sane people, every normal sane person goes to a bakery and buys a flaky pastry because they make 100 of them every day and they sell 100 every day because flaky pastry needs to be eaten the same day you make it. So I have a whole tray of these with nobody else to eat them, and they're already worse than they were when I made them. Like, so stupid. I hate everything about this technical challenge. The butter started melting when I was rolling it out because it was hot in my, you want to think about, there's your temperature. So not humid, but it was freaking hot in my condo. So the butter started melting, so I couldn't put them together. And then like the dough wetness was weird, and I'm like way too wet from the start, but it was like
weird
the recipe.
dough wetness. No one likes that.
Well played. And there were various and assorted disasters of bowl flipping that occurred in the middle of it, which made it even worse. And then
did you flip a table?
I did not flip a table. And then I forgot to read ahead in the recipe because you're supposed to make the stupid creme pat filling, which is like fine, like I can make a custard, but like it then had to cool, so I just wasted like an hour of time because instead of putting that at the beginning of the recipe, Paul Hollywood, he puts it at like step 12 and says, while you're doing all of that, like as if you read ahead like 18 steps to read that like an idiot. This was dumb. They're not even that good. Like if you don't eat them with the glaze, they're just not that great. And then the glaze is just orange juice and sugar. So then they just taste like orange, but it's like panel raisin. So like, what am I even doing here? Like, just give me a cinnamon roll. Like it's so frustrating.
You could have just made a cinnamon roll out of a tube and it would have been way better.
Not wrong.
I was really hoping that when you got the pan out with all of them in it, that you were just going to drop them in a trash can. That's what I wanted to see.
Missed opportunity. Unfortunately, it still is my breakfast. It still is my breakfast.
So you're just gonna eat them every morning?
Yeah, I need to eat breakfast, and I didn't spend 6 hours.
What you're telling me is you spent a ton of time making this thing that you hate, and now you're gonna hatefully eat them every day, which is then they're gonna send you off into the world hateful and angry.
I've already
real downer, man. It's a real downer.
This is my life right now. Yeah, hate eating.
It's all Paul Hollywood's fault.
I've already eaten 3 of them. I had one last night, obviously, when they're done at 10:30 at night, to like see if they were any good. And I'm glad I did, because if I didn't eat that one, I wouldn't have like even enjoyed like a mildly flaky pastry. The texture wasn't terrible. And then I had one this morning, and it was just like Costco croissant, like that claggy, like butter.
No, not claggy.
Like
a word I'd never heard of before this, but now I've heard a lot of times.
I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, like I was super excited, and I my partner in crime, your lovely wife Megan, we're all excited to do the technical challenges, and we've been bereft by like 3 ludicrous challenges, like enormous cake.
Nobody really likes
enormous cake.
Yeah.
Ridiculous biscuits.
Weird raisin cookie thing.
No interest in making. Yeah, raisins again. Like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
raisins.
Why are they obsessed with raisins? Like,
I didn't even make
the raisins, man.
Didn't even make that connection. 2 weeks of raisins, and then this not bread. Like, come on. Like, give me. This was supposed to be cool and fun, and so far it's been like miserable.
They're not here. They're not here to make you happy. They're here to make you miserable. I don't know what to tell you. Paul Hollywood is not here to bring you joy. He's here to bring you pain.
That's clear. So that was my journey foray into this week's technical challenge. We'll see how it goes next week. And hopefully, whatever the theme next week is, I think usually this next week is either they usually do a country, like their little thematic countries, or it'll be what is it else usually, or maybe pastry week's usually later. So yeah, it's usually a country or like the wacky bread, wacky flour or things. So we'll see what happens. But maybe they'll have like, not crazy technical challenge because I'm over this game already.
Maybe they will. It'll be like pastry week, and then they'll have bread for the technical, and it'll all come back around. It was a devious plan all along.
I would love, because I've never made it before, and I've always like watched Pastry Week, and they have to do like the meat pies, like the English pies with like
love a meat pie,
the watercress pastry, hot watercress pastry in some elaborate shape. I actually wouldn't mind as a technical because I've never done it before, and to make me do it because like that seems hard, but like I want to do that because I've never done it before versus like making puff pastry. I knew sucks.
Like, it's gonna be a meat pie, but instead of meat, it's raisins. Big Raisin actually is sponsoring the show this year.
Was it Sunmade? The Great British Breakoff brought to you by Sunmade Raisins.
Yep.
Not a sponsor of this channel. Unlike our normal sponsor, Squarespace.
No, it's Bomba Socks.
Bomba Socks. Sorry, Bomba Socks.
Now you've just lost our endorsement.
Buy one, get one free from Bomba Socks this week.
There you go.
Offer code, the bread is a lie. Don't use that offer code.
It worked.
What else did you take from this week's episode besides controversy? Did any other nuggets of thoughts from besides your pain and anguish from being stolen your favorite week of the season?
It's hard to get over. It's hard to look past the rage. I think going back to the original controversy of the two people not being there, I feel like there was a bit of a bait and switch situation there. That was a little frustrating when they were just like, they kind of just brushed that under the rug at the beginning, and then it's like, oh, these people are doing really bad, but like they never had any intention of sending anybody home. Like that was a lie and false drama. Like, come on, guys.
It's true, because now it's happened a few times now where one or two folks are not able to make a week, and it always ends in the same way. And they act as if like they all got together and made a choice when It's like, no, they're just not going to send somebody home.
Good. Like there's just too much skill on display here today with these bread monstrosities. I think that, and next week it's going to be 2 out, right?
Usually that's what they do. They correct the following week, and they'll usually kind of call back a little bit, like if Carol's on the bubble again
last week.
Yeah. If she struggles again,
I'm sure if Dawn struggles again?
No, I mean Carol. Dawn's gonna bounce back. Sure. Dawn's gonna bounce back and keep the Soggy Bottom Boys riding hard through the middle of the season.
I don't want any Soggy Bottom Boys riding hard anywhere near me. Just gonna say that right now. I want that nowhere in my life. So let's just get that out of here right now.
I'm sorry that makes you uncomfortable. Well,
it's the sogginess that really is unfortunate in that scenario.
Yeah, I didn't like the framing because it was pretty clear what's going to happen. Also, the other thing I thought from the episode is I believe there is a clear front runner. Now in the season, and even more so than last season. I don't know if anybody's on the same wavelength or on the same tier,
this level.
Yeah, I think Janusz showing the prowess this week, and the other folks that started off the first week are okay, but nobody has like continued at a high level, as evidenced by by the point totals for that. Janusz really, if I'm gonna share them briefly, really making it happen, and kind of running away with the early season lead, at least on the point total side. 26 total, 2 weeks at 10 points, big weeks. And more than, if you take Maxi and Dawn out, that's right, Dawn, more points than everybody else combined. So,
wow.
So basically, if you didn't pick Janusz, which almost everybody did.
Everybody did. I would be surprised if anybody didn't.
Yeah, I think Shabira and Janusz, I think, are on almost everybody's team. But if you didn't, you're not winning.
No,
that's the moral of the story. That was an important pickup. And so yeah, so I think the middle here, the nougaty middle, will be
creamy
interesting.
middle, as it were.
Will be interesting to see how it pans out, and if Abdul ever actually scores any points when he comes back, as opposed to
you know what? There's some benefit there, because if you had him or Rebs and you didn't lose points from them, so
it's true.
At least there's that.
This is the first week. No, I didn't lose points last week. I had all the point scorers. The other thing this week is there weren't many points scored, actually. There's only four people putting points on the board this week.
This has been something over the years of this league that there's a lot more negative than positive in terms of the scoring. So it's really, you want game managers. You want people who are going to go out there and make like really big mistakes. Like maybe they don't win all the time, but like they're not giving you negative numbers.
I have noticed that definitely seems to be important, because I definitely have some negatives, like that Abdul specifically, like he's still -3 in 3 weeks. Like that's like I could have picked the 2 people that have gone out and been better off than that, which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the top still the same as last week, no major change, just because they pulled quite ahead. So
it's pretty close now, like between those top 7 right there, very close.
Yeah, and that's like they all had very similar picks.
Yeah.
But some of them missed some of the points this week, and nobody, I think, picking very few people picked Janusz as captain. So like
I think he just won so recently that you don't think he's gonna do it again so soon.
Yeah, so like not many extra points in the intense bakers.
Good week there.
Picked the Janusz captain, so got a big bump. And that's really about it. Like not too many people got over the 15 kind of points of
a lot of 12s.
Yeah, a lot of 12s, and
I think I was the 12 also.
I had the 15. I was happy with that because I got no negatives, but I didn't pick it. Apparently, I didn't pick a captain. I thought I did. I have asked the commissioner for clarification on how to know if I
picked captains.
A message has gone in on the chat.
I guess should we talk about captain strategy then?
I think so. I will be up front in my captain.
You've got a whole system. You always have some dumb system that either does work magnificently or is a burning tire fire of despair. And it's always fun to see which one it's going to be. So hit us with your system.
My system's real easy this year. Pick your news every week.
I like it. Simplicity. Yeah, I like that. Just on the averages, you're probably going to get at least 1 or 2 more off of that.
Yeah, and he scored points every week. Also, last week showed he's often done quickly, and he often helps people.
Yep.
That's a few points every week.
Do you get extra points if the captain is helping, or is it just
captain is 1.5 multiplier on all points? So like it definitely averages.
Oh yeah, then you pick him every week. That's the way to go. I'm stealing that. I'm doing it too.
Yeah, so like on the course of the season, it's going to average out to like you just want the point scorer, because if you pick a 0 person, like I think it doesn't
do anything for you.
It doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, so you might as well get something, and then if they get Star Baker, if they get first in the technical, like you're getting 5 points, 7 points out of it.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to pick a captain this week, so that's one way to look at it. You could do that. It's not a great system, but it.
So strategy. Okay, so we have 2 strategies. Strategy 1: leave points on the table by not picking a captain.
Yeah.
I would recommend against that. Strategy
Probably
two,
a bad call.
strategy two, just
Pick the best guy.
pick the best person every week.
I love the science that's gone into this. Like clearly a lot of effort has come in here.
So then what's a middle ground strategy between autopilot one way and not doing any work the other way?
I think dartboard is the only other strategy.
Ooh,
Just throw it at the dartboard and see pick whoever comes up.
spin a wheel. We
Spin
could
a wheel. Ooh, wheel of baking.
maybe we could start that. Man, if I could do this very quickly, I would totally do that. In future weeks, we should spin the wheel, a proverbial wheel, and see if the wheel does better than either of our strategies.
Yes. Well, what about like our name generator right now? Can you pump that up real quick?
All right, you talk. I will.
I talk. I'll just fill the air, vamp a little bit.
Oh man. That there wasn't really much else. I'll stop this while I figure this out. Point wise, it was a light week. There was because Janusz kind of just cleaned house.
Well, maybe they were just all pissed off because they were promised bread and they didn't get to bake any bread. So maybe their game and their morale was impacted. You know, like in all competitions, motivation is very important. And if you're not motivated, you don't do well. And maybe they were like, "Oh yeah, I love bread. Bread's the best." And then they come in and it's like, "Please make this raisin pastry." And they're like, "What the fuck is this? I don't want to make this." And then, it all goes out the window.
It's true. All right. So I have already gotten a wheel up and running.
Yes, wheel.
So I gotta figure this out. Let's share this back.
Doing it live.
We're doing it live, everybody. We're doing it live. It's working pretty good. All right, we're gonna click.
This is what happened. Oh, wheel. Yes. Okay,
I love this. This is good.
Is excellent. Wheelofnames.com. Shout out.
James.
All
All right, James.
The
We're
mad
gonna
scientist.
see. We're gonna see if the wheel. This is not my favorite thing we've ever done.
We're doing
on
it
our
every week.
podcast. We're doing it every week.
Yep.
I'm gonna log it down.
Mhm.
The week 4 wheel captain is James.
Wheel of Bakes. I don't know. We'll come up with a better name.
And so we will see if the wheel is better than everybody else in terms of this.
Spoiler, it probably is.
It probably will be. All right. That's excellent. So we've covered the show. We already covered the technical debacle. I showed it off. I thank you for the compliment. That they look nice. That's all.
Scrumptious.
They're not scrumptious.
That's what they looked. I'm just working on my Hollywood accent so that someday we can do a whole episode in an English accent.
Do it. So last then, as we have. So next week we expect 2 folks out. So who you got going out and who you got for Starbreaker?
What if both old ladies go out? That's a possibility.
I could see it.
I don't know. That just seems like a wild card wacky thing that could happen. I was gonna pick Shabira as my captain this week. That was my plan before I forgot. Well, I went to do it today and I was like, oh man, I'm too late. So that my plan was to pick her.
I think that's always a good. She's gonna win a week. She's got to.
She's gonna get hot.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna win a couple weeks. Hopefully, like she seems plenty good to do that. I would say depends on the situation. I do think this is a week for the mid tier. I don't think Janusz will repeat again. He could because he's clearly very good. Maybe Sandro bounces back and has a big week. He's due.
He seems like a sleeping giant.
Yeah,
he's ready to pounce.
Little cocky. He's a little cocky.
Yeah. Maybe he needed to get knocked down a peg or two.
That came out this week. So I think he's maybe a good pick. And maybe one like the James Kevin couplet could shine.
Are they in their own tier? The James Kevin tier?
Yeah.
Kevin James tier, as it were.
And then I'm gonna pick Rebs every week until she's gone.
Such a hater.
I'm absolutely a Rebs hater. Sign me up. Call it out. That's fine.
Yeah.
And like Carol and or Dawn for sure. They were saved this week.
Yep. One of them was definitely out the door, and it's unclear, and they could have been either one.
Could have been
They
either
were
one.
both pretty bad.
Yeah, I was definitely on the couch nail biting because I had forgotten about the reality that they weren't going to send anybody home because of past experience. We were speculating, Stephanie and I, but I forgot about it. I was worried. And Carol has yet to impress me, so I would say
Yes, we all know that you hate her.
I'm gonna roll my hater dice that are permanently Rebs and Carol. Until proven otherwise.
Man, I don't know. A lot of ugly truths coming out about you on this show.
I've been consistent.
Doesn't
with my
like
takes.
the ladies unless they're super conservative.
I have Shabira, and I have. I mean, okay, Don. Are those all you have?
That's where I was going with that.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? I know. I missed on Maxi. Maxi's better. Maxi's better. That I missed that. I think that was the right pick. I missed that pick. I see that. I will not cede on Rebs and Carol. Nope.
God, I hope one of them wins the whole thing. It would be hilarious.
Man. It's not gonna happen, but like that would be funny. Like I will bake a crow cake and eat it on the show. I will commit to you. I will commit to you.
Season bet.
If I 100% commit to this, if Rebs or Carol win, I will make a crow-shaped cake. I will eat it on this show. If they make the final, I will admit that I was wrong.
I think I like that one more than the cake part.
Exactly. You get a whammy either way, but they're not. So it's like totally fine.
On that note,
we should probably
let's wheelie on out of here.
This down before I get too out of control. Until next week, until we see another technical disaster, hopefully not. Everyone have a wonderful week and bake on.